Some hidden facts about new UK Prime Minister. Liz Truss, her full name is Mary Elizabeth Truss, has been elected Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and she was succeeding Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who was leaving office following a series of controversies. Truss became the third woman to rise to the government post, following Theresa May and Margaret Thatcher, who were also members of the Conservative and Unionist Party. Truss was elected leader of the ruling Conservative Party on Monday, defeating Rishi Sunak, a former Chief Secretary of the Treasury and Chancellor of the Exchequer, by 57.4% to 42.6%. Truss was born on July 26, 1975, and she has been married to husband Hugh O'Leary for over 20 years. The couple met at a Conservative Party conference in 1997 and went on to wed in 2000. They have two daughters, Frances, 16 years old, and Liberty, 14 years old. Truss was a student at Oxford University, where she studied politics, philosophy, and economics, and was president of the Oxford University Liberal Democrats, having been raised by left-leaning parents. Post-government experience. Truss has an extensive political background, going at least as far back as 2006, when she was elected one of the councillors of Greenwich. In 2010, she became a member of parliament representing South West Norfolk. She has also served as an education minister, Secretary of State for Environment, Justice Secretary, Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Secretary of State of International Trade, and President of the Board of Trade, as well as Minister for Women and Equalities. In September of last year, Truss became Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs. Scandal affair. In the early 2004, Truss had an affair with a former member of parliament named Mark Field over a period of 18 months, which was made public in 2006. News of scandal broke in the Daily Mail in 2006, at which Mr. Field's 12-year marriage broke down and ended in divorce. However, Ms. Truss and Mr. O'Leary's relationship survived. When asked about the affair by the Daily Mail, Mr. O'Leary said, "I don't want to talk about it." But in a 2019 interview with You magazine, Mrs. Truss was also when asked about the tempestuous time her affair became public. However, she said, "I am really happily married." Truss with the Brexit question. In 2016, while Truss was Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, she opposed Brexit. Weeks before the referendum on Brexit was held, Truss gave a speech before the Food and Drink Federation's annual dinner, in which she touted the benefits of staying in the EU. She said, "I think the British people are sensible people. They understand fundamentally that economically Britain would be better off staying in the EU." Later, in an interview with the BBC last December, however, Truss explained that she had since changed her mind and would have voted for Brexit in retrospect. And she continued that, "Because I think it has given us huge freedom and flexibility as a country we didn't have before." She said, "In particular, on foreign policy, we now have the ability to coordinate our development policy, or trade policy, our defense policy, and our diplomacy together." Truss with abortion question. Regarding the issue of abortion, Truss voted in favor of liberalizing the abortion laws in Northern Ireland, which previously had greater restrictions than England or Wales. Quote, "We are a United Kingdom and we need all of our laws to apply right across the United Kingdom." End of the quote. However, she abstained from votes to create censorship zones around abortion clinics, to curb pro-life demonstrations, and an amendment to permanently allow DIY abortions in England, in which women are sent home to terminate a pregnancy and dispose of the remains without medical supervision or care. Additionally, she abstained from proposed legislation that would ban sex-selective abortions. Truss with LGBT issues. Truss has a mixed record on LGBT issues. In the past, she had voted to legalize same-sex marriage and expressed support for a national ban on sexual orientation conversion therapy. However, she has also denounced the idea that people can self-identify their genders, saying that medical checks are important and that only women have a cervix. The UK LGBT publication Pink News claimed that Truss has repeatedly failed to advance LGBTQ rights in any meaningful way since she joined the Equalities Office in 2019. Truss may have voted in favor of same-sex marriage, but she has done little to carry favor with. Truss's religious background. Truss says she considers herself Christian but not particularly practicing. I share the values of the Christian faith and the Church of England, but I am not a regular practicing religious person. In June, then Foreign Secretary Truss ran afoul of Church of England officials when the government decided to deport people who entered the country illegally by flying them to Rwanda. The shame is our own because our Christian heritage should inspire us to treat asylum seekers with compassion, fairness, and justice, as we have for centuries, stated a letter signed by several bishops. In response to that criticism, Truss told Sky News presenter Neil Patterson that the deportation policy was completely legal and completely moral. In conclusion, now the whole world are crossing their fingers to see how would she treat with the international community with her changeable stance. Bye-bye.